Hello. In the aftermath of the July 15th failed coup in Turkey, some repatriated Nigerian undergraduates studying in that country have had cause to share some experiences with the diaspora. This edition of the Diaspora, in our discussion segment, takes a look at these experiences against the backdrop of several internationally recognized tertiary institutions in Nigeria put at the disposal of its citizens. In the meantime, a meeting between the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Abike Dabiri-Arewa, operators of the Nile University, Abuja, and the Nigeria Turkey International Colleges Foundation, NTIC, has brokered a collaboration on the subject matter, the outcomes of which are soothing to the ears. The chat with our diasporan of the week, a chartered accountant based in the United Kingdom, is the icing on the cake. Welcome to the Diaspora. I am Ogechi Paul. "25 undergraduate Nigerian students of various institutions in Turkey were repatriated in the wake of the July 15th failed coup in that country. Some are still trapped over there. The Diaspora shares the experiences of some of them." Were you in Turkey?
Yeah, I was in Turkey.
As what?
As a student.
Yes.
I came back to Nigeria because of the critical condition situation in Turkey. The second place right now in Turkey. Some of my friends were arrested by the Turkish government, which makes me very afraid. And I think about it, and I found out that this thing is against an international law to arrest a student without doing anything. That's why my family they call me back. They call me to come back to Nigeria so that something negative will not affect me. And there's one thing that makes me very, very annoyed in Turkey. When I started to come back at the airport, the policemen, they arrested me. They took me to one room. They asked me about something which I have no idea on. I want to send an advice to the Turkish government. So if they think about what they are doing, it's like they are destroying their relationship with the world. Because if you check, you will find out that Turkey is a country with a quite number of students from different countries in the world. Like in my school, we have students from 120 countries. So now you are arresting students and you're reporting them. It means like you are trying to destroy your relationship with the world and to destroy your economy. I want to say this thing and an advice. Please, you should sit down and think about the thing you are doing before you destroy your country.
Like 50 students were detained there, so I was afraid to go back. We just decided, me and my brother, because we're actually two in this school, we decided to come back here. They said anyone that is affected by this situation, they are going to give him like some percentage, and they gave me 50. You know, there are many students from different places. They give scholarship to many. So it's a very good thing for them to continue doing whatever they are doing here. They are really trying.
Well, the situation in Turkey is really, really critical. Just for example, I have two of my friends in a private universities, but these students were being detained for over 2 months now. We have been working together with the embassy and also with the Nigerian presidency office here in order to see a way we can actually get these boys out. But until now, there is nothing. These boys have not been released. Their parents have been complaining. It's really, really very hard. One of them is Hassan Danjuma, and one of them is Mohammed Al-Haji, and both of them are studying in Batishir University. They have even graduated this year. They are from Yobe State. I want the federal government should look well into this matter because these are Nigerian students. And this Nigerian student, and it doesn't make any sense for a foreigner to be involved in any coup attempt. I mean, he has nothing to gain. They are just there for education purpose. So why detain them for almost 2 months and a half?
Mr. Semal Yigit is the spokesperson of the Nile University, Abuja, where the students are presently studying.
Well, you know, right after the military coup attempt, unfortunately, the purge is taking place. And due to this purge, thousands of schools and universities and foundations and boardings and hostels are being shut down. The students, those who are unfortunately deported from Turkey and got the chance of studying here at Nile University on scholarship. There are a couple of different groups and sets actually. There are some who were on scholarship, 100% from the private universities in Turkey. So since those are shut down, those students, like themselves, were given the opportunity to go to state universities. But once they go there, they are asked to pay. Who is going to cover their payments? And on top of that, there is another issue. In the private universities, they were studying in, let's say, X department. But when they go to the state university, there is no X department available. So they are again left abandoned. In Turkey, there were private foundations, and students were given scholarship from those foundations and were studying in those private universities or state universities. And now, because of the purge again, the foundations are closed and shut down. So who is going to give the scholarship to those students to enable them to study in Turkey? No one. So in that situation, the NTIC Foundation is taking the responsibility back home here in Nigeria and keep supporting them and paying their tuition fees and pocket allowance. In Nigeria, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and that's one of the reasons that we have been operating here since 2009 as Nile University. I think that enables us to do our best within our capacity.
The meeting between the SSA to the President, Abike Dabirarewa, functionaries of the Nile University, and the Nigeria-Turkey National Colleges Foundation in Abuja resolved to partner in order to see the repatriated students through their education.
Will not compromise the welfare of our students, will not compromise the dignity of Nigerians anywhere in the world. That is the policy of President Buhari. We will coordinate this for you. The 25 students affected, this office with the Ministry of Education will coordinate and ensure that those students in Turkey do not suffer.
The Nile University of Nigeria is ready to serve to this great country, Nigeria.
In Turkey, 29 of them has been back to Nigeria and get scholarship from the Nile University fully. And the one who is remaining in Turkey, which is 25 students, also getting their scholarship from the NTIC Foundation. School fee also has been paid and scholarship has been continued till they finish the school.
On this discussion segment, the Diaspora played host to a ranking Nigerian diasporan, a consultant gerontologist. He concludes that the human experiences by Nigerian students studying in Turkey are rather self-inflicted. Doc, you won't be talking today, you won't be talking now as a diplomat. You'll be talking as a ranking diasporan. What is this story about Nigerians being repatriated? Are there lessons to learn from this experience, Doc?
Yes, because the question in here is that it's a very, very unfortunate situation that what is going on between the Nigerians going abroad looking for greener posture. It is very, very unfortunate because I've been in the United States for the past 35 years and I have huge, not a small experience, huge experience. And as a result of this, I will discourage each and every Nigerian to go abroad. Just to go abroad, and if you are going abroad for what? Are you going abroad to study? Or are you going abroad to make a better life for you? Now, but whatever the case may be, you have to go abroad legally, not illegally. If you go illegally, you will just be experiencing something that you will never have in your lifetime. Nigerians
want to go abroad to study. Take, for instance, some of them were in Turkey studying, and because of the coup that happened in Turkey, and then they were sending all kinds of messages to Nigeria, asking Nigerians, the authorities, to wind down the business of Turkish people who are in the country, maybe school and all that. And Nigerians just couldn't do that because they need to clarify that these people had a hand in that coup. On the basis of that, Nigerians, they said, being maltreated and being repatriated.
Mr. Paul, to be honest,
yes,
and sincere with you, I will never encourage any Nigerian to go to Turkey for studying purposes. What are you going to study there?
Okay.
That is not available in Nigeria. If you go to the United States, Nigerians are the most scholars in the whole of the United States, even above the Jews in the United States. These are Nigerians. I'm positive, scientifically proven.
Yes.
That in 85 family you will find a PhD holder in the United States. I'm talking to you in the United States, and I'm talking to you in Nigeria and about the Nigerians. So if the Nigerian government will have a very, very brainy here in this country than anywhere else on surface of earth. Nigeria has a highest number of brainy Nigerians in here. Though why do you actually lower your level?
Some have done this, and we hear that they pass through all kinds of inhuman treatments. Have you heard this kind of story before?
Inhuman treatment is more than inhuman treatment. When they see a Nigerian, they will be segregated, they will be isolated, and they will be cautioned inhumanly, not to be considered as a human beings.
Wait a minute.
They will consider them as sub-human beings. I don't know why that something like this is happening to Nigeria and Nigeria.
That is the question everybody will want to ask. What do you think is
the question in
responsible
here
for
is
this?
that I would like, the government of this country to take initiative to improve the educational system, to be second to none. For the medical practitioners and those who would like, to study advanced medicine, they will be able to get an equipment, high-tech equipment, and they will be able to teach the Nigerians. Nigerians are very intelligent. They can easily learn. So the question here is that we would like, the government, this administration, this very administration under President Buhari, I think if you stood up, if they stand up, I think we will make Nigeria second to none in the whole world. That will discourage Nigeria to go even to Europe. So as a result of this, why can Nigerians look at help, require a help from our system, our government in here? So the education system has to improve. More than that, those people who studied, in 1950s are highly more qualified than the present one, because the education system in Nigeria is just going backward.
It's going down.
It's going down. I remember my cousin, who was late General Shiwa, he is talking to me about Isaac Newton. So I was curious.
The scientist.
Yes. I was curious. I said, look, this man, he didn't go to university. And he was talking about Isaac Newton. Why? How did he learn it? For curious, I said, let me ask you. I said, General, now you are talking about Isaac Newton. Why did you learn how to talk about Isaac Newton? He said it was in Barewa College.
Barewa College.
So
at that time, they were already there.
I'm telling you, I was very, very stuck and stuck.
Oh my goodness.
Now, at this very level.
Yes.
Now you go to a university graduate, ask him about Isaac Newton. They may not even know. It's too bad. I could not believe it. The education system is falling down. I will have professors, which were black, good professors. Professor Ezelo was my professor.
I see.
University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and he taught me degree in physiology. Very, very intelligent, very extremely intelligent.
Doc,
so we have them here.
Yes, I'd like to cut you at this time, but I want your final comments as a consultant gerontologist who read here and also read abroad, but based overseas.
Now, my final comment here at this very level here is that I would like the educational system has to be improved.
Okay.
And then at the same time, we, the student in here, we are people in here who would like, to improve our knowledge. Now we have to stick with our government, and we have to learn in here. We should not actually go to places like Turkey, going for knowledge. That is not knowledge. We will be dehumanized.
You are watching The Diaspora on this table of the NTA, Africa's largest TV network.
Information and news updates. Visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Mrs. Ronke Adabo, based in the United Kingdom, is our Diasporan of the Week. Stay with us. Ronke, it's good to have you on Diaspora.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's begin by asking, who are you exactly and what you do in the UK?
Okay, I'm a chartered accountant, and I am the director of the British Safety Council, which is an health and safety organization in the UK. And I'm also the treasurer of the Central Associations of All Nigerians in the UK, which is an umbrella body for all Nigerians in the UK.
For emphasis.
Okay. Treasurer of the Central Association of All Nigerians in the UK.
That's serious business. What that means is that that umbrella is what brings all Nigerians in the UK under one umbrella. Is that what it does?
Basically, yeah. What it is the Nigerian High Commission cannot deal with so many organizations, Nigerian organizations in the UK.
Yeah.
So they find it convenient to deal with one umbrella body, and that umbrella body would then deal with the other organizations. So the Central Association was set up by the Nigerian High Commission, actually by former High Commissioner Christopher Kolade, right? So that makes it very easy for the High Commission to deal with Nigerians.
Yes.
So the Central Association of Nigerians in the UK, we deal with welfare issues, immigration issues, and we tend to cascade it to the High Commission to deal with if they have to interface with the British government. Okay,
that's interesting. So why are you here now?
Yes, I'm based in the UK, but as I said, I'm a qualified accountant. I'm qualified over there and I'm qualified over here. So I'm a member of ICANN, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria.
Yes.
I'm actually a fellow, and we're having our conference. We just finished our one-week conference in Abuja, so that's why I'm in Abuja.
You left UK, you're here in Abuja. What has the experience been like?
The experience is, in my view, is getting better and better every time I come. So that's very encouraging.
I see. Now, the president, Mr. President, Muhammadu Buhari, is disposed to diasporans now. He's been reaching out to them, calling them to come assist Nigeria so we can fix this nation. How challenged is that to you?
Yeah. I would say about time. Any government that neglects or ignores the diaspora community is doing it at its own peril, in my view. Because in any country, the diasporans are seen as part of the solution to whatever problem they've got. As you'd appreciate, the remittance from the diaspora into Nigeria in 2014 was $21 billion.
Let me cut you there. $21 billion, how? Is it monies you send to families or to assist people do one thing or that? Is it money that passes through government to certain people, in which case we actually can account for it?
Actually, most of it is unaccountable because it's through the informal system. So it's basically me sending money to my dad or sending money to my mom or sending money for school fees for my family. So it's in the informal sector. But we do have the formal sector as well. But when you aggregate remittance, money crossing over, foreign exchange crossing over into Nigeria in 2014 was $21 billion. Now, that is no small money.
It's not.
That's a lot of money. So any government that ignores that sector, right, is doing it at its own peril. So diasporas at this point in time, we feel as if there's an enabling environment at the moment in Nigeria. We also feel there's a political will at the moment. The president is so inclined, as you rightly said, to diasporans. Whenever he comes abroad, he actually meets with the diasporans and actually encourage them to come home. And personally, I find it very difficult to criticize Nigeria because I don't have in my opinion, I don't have the moral authority to criticize Nigeria if I'm contributing to improving some other country's economy. Instead of doing that in my country, then I cannot criticize my country. If I want to, what will be useful is for me to actually add my own little value I can add to the country to make it a better place. And as I said earlier, if all Nigerians can come home back to Nigeria with the skills and expertise they've gained from the Western world, Nigeria will be much more better for it. But you must always have it at the back of your mind that home, sweet home. You know, we only have one country and it's Nigeria, and we should do our best to improve the country.
But we hear that Nigerians also pass through all kinds of, some inhuman experiences over there. Do you have anything to say concerning that?
We need to be fair, and we need to get our facts straight. If you go into the UK legitimately, you wouldn't have a problem. But it's when you come into the UK illegally, right, and you're not legitimate, then you're going to have lots of problems because you're going to have the immigration chasing you all over the place, trying to get you back to your country. And whilst you're in the UK, you need to sustain yourself. So you have to find dodgy ways of, keeping life and soul together. So you have to work informally and do some menial jobs that you wouldn't want to be seen doing. Some people might get involved in fraudulent activities because at the end of the day, they've got to survive.
You were talking about the experiences our Nigerians pass through. Why must they leave this country, go over there, and begin to pass through such experiences?
Sometimes some people find it difficult to survive within the Nigerian system. and people give them the impression that, you know, there's better opportunities out there.
Yes.
Yes, without a doubt, there are better opportunities, but you must be legal. You must have your papers to be able to go in there and work. So if you haven't got the papers, then you should expect some very hostile, you know, reaction to you when you get into the country.
I see some of the photograph pictures I saw, you know, on your WhatsApp. It would appear you did some kind of charity work in Nigeria, is it? Did you?
That's right, actually, yeah. That's under the umbrella of the Central Associations of Nigerians in the UK.
Okay.
In July, we came around for what we call the Diaspora Week, where most diasporans come around and interact with the government and see how we can the government can start leveraging on the diaspora.
Yeah.
And basically, one of the theme for that conference was it's about what you can do for Nigeria, not what Nigeria can do for you. Okay. And we know the IDP, internally displaced people, are very topical at this point in time.
Yes.
Therefore, we came around buying goods, foods and things, and actually went out there to donate it to them, and actually medical facilities. And when I got to the camp, I was really disturbed, because the state in which they live in the camp was deplorable. You know, the women had kids, they were having babies, there was no proper maternity care or whatever for them. So we came along with nurses, you know, that actually tries to educate the people living there on how they can take care of themselves medically.
IDPs in Abuja here somewhere?
The IDP in Nasarawa State is somewhere called Garku.
Okay.
I hope I pronounced that well.
No, I get it properly. It's okay. Now, well, you know that we just marked the World Girl Child Day recently. Yeah. So what are your perspectives of the girl child in Nigeria? What exactly do you make of the girl child?
Now, without a doubt, this initiative is something very close to my heart, because I believe in the saying that when you train a man, you've trained an individual. But when you train a girl, you've trained a nation, because it's the women that train the children, and the children then become responsible citizens.
Which means that the problem with this country, you know, the women should share more of the blame.
Not necessarily. Women should be more educated, because if they are more educated, then they can impact that on their children, and their children could be better citizens of the world, basically. So one needs to invest in women, you know. I mean, in the Western world, they're very good about that. You know, there's equality of opportunities for both men and women. But I hesitate to say this, but in Nigeria, it's like women are seen as second-class citizens, basically.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
In my opinion, I mean, because you have lots of women who are just at home, you know, once they've been married, they're at home just having children, and they don't actually try and build on their career, you know, and be able to equip their children and be economically viable as an individual. A greater percentage of women rely on their husbands, you know, for their economic powers. So I would want to encourage the girl child education, because education is power, education is information. If you're well educated, you can go places, you can do so many things. So I would encourage the government of the day to have some mechanisms in place to encourage parents to educate their girl child. It's absolutely critical.
What are your final comments before you go back to London?
Yeah, I would just want to encourage the government of the day to engage positively with the diaspora, because I believe they are part of the solution. And the diasporans as well are willing, because, as I said, we can see the enabling environment, we can see the political will. Secondly, I'd like to encourage my fellow diasporans as well to try to feel positive about Nigeria, because the future is bright for Nigeria. And the earlier they realize that and start, you know, finding ways to sort of, you know, bring back their expertise to the country, the better for everyone.
Just before we go, take note that a river cuts the rock, not because of its power, but because of its consistency. Do not lose hope on Nigeria. Thanks for watching.